Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's that time of year when the pumpkin takes center stage. And yes, these turkeys are joining in to add to the fun. We're at a petting farm this weekend, and some of the animals were just as curious about us as we were about them. My name is Lisa, and welcome again. If you're new, a special welcome. In today's video, we're going to do some fabulous fall crafts made with dollar store wood pumpkins. I think you'll be amazed to see how easily and inexpensively you can transform these flat wooden cutout pumpkins into charming decor for your home. We'll make them using a variety of materials. Here you see one using the faux leather from Dollar Tree, along with some dried leaves and pumpkin embellishments. You'll also see how to do some quilted paper designs on the wood using some other lovely embellishments. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed as we dive in and continue our journey through the imaginary pumpkin patch. For our first fun project, I'm going to take a variety of scrapbook papers and I'm going to cut them into different widths of strips. You want to choose different color combinations, different patterns to create a lot of visual interest as we create a quilted pattern across our pumpkin. Scrapbooking paper has a really nice weight to it, and here I'm choosing one that has an iridescent quality with butterflies. We're also going to consider our base paper because once we get our strips cut into varied widths, we're going to use a glue stick to glue those down to our background color. So keep that in mind as you choose your patterns and color combinations. You can't go wrong. It's so much fun to create a unique design in any color palette you choose. After I have all my strips cut, I'm going to begin by gluing my strips down onto my base paper. I find that the glue stick from Dollar Tree works great. It's a nice clean application and it'll work really well to adhere each of the different strips onto that background paper. As you adhere each of your pretty strips to your background paper, try to make your lines as straight as possible and vary the widths between them. You also can see how I'm leaving some of that background paper visible. That just continues to add beautiful visual interest to our design. Because the pumpkin was actually broader than the piece of scrapbook paper that I'm using in the background, I'm adding some of the strips in a way that overhangs those outer edges. That'll give me that additional amount of paper to provide complete coverage over the surface of the pumpkin. After all the strips are attached and the glue is dried, outline the pumpkin design on the back of the paper, cut it out, flip it over, be prepared to be amazed. Once you have it nicely cut out, you can use the glue stick to attach that as well. Now, you can either apply the glue stick to the back of the paper, as I'm doing, being certain to get to all the outer edges of coverage, or you could certainly apply the glue stick right to the wooden pumpkin. Either way works. Then simply flip it over, attach it, and you see it is quite stunning. And now I'm going to add some decorative twine to just kind of accent the stem. I don't want to cover it up entirely because again, I want to leave some of those beautiful color combinations visible, but I'm going to just add a little bit of interest there by going over that stem with some of that decorative purple and white twine. After I do that, I'm adding a lovely embellishment from Totally Dazzled just to add a little bit more bling. A pool of hot glue works really well to attach an embellishment. I have this from Totally Dazzled, but you could use a piece of costume jewelry or any of the embellishments that Dollar Tree sells, and it just adds that finishing touch at the base of the stem. Adding sparkle and bling really creates an exclamation point on your design. And you see it is really stunning under the lamplight as that iridescent paper reflects in rainbow colors. I'm so pleased with this project. I think you're going to love making this. It's very easy to make, and each design will be uniquely your own. For our next craft, I'm going to use 3 of the Dollar Tree pumpkins and 3 boxes of the faux leather. It's very nice quality. Each of these items is just $1.25. I'm also using some of the fabric Mod Podge, but you could use regular as well. You see now I'm just outlining the design of the pumpkin on the back of that faux leather. Then I'll cut it out and apply the Mod Podge to the back surface. This faux leather is such nice quality, it really looks like actual leather. You can see once you get it cut out, it fits beautifully over the pumpkin, leaving only the tip of the stem exposed, but that will be covered up. Now I'm just applying some of the Mod Podge in a nice even layer over the entirety of the back surface of the wooden pumpkin. Then all you have to do is flip that piece of leather right on top, smooth it out with your hands. And now I'm just doing the same thing with the piece of cream color leather, cutting out the design, and then once again we'll apply the Mod Podge and lay that piece of leather over the surface of our second pumpkin. The faux leather lays beautifully, and all you have to do is smooth it out with your hand. And in this case, I'm also using a crumpled up paper towel just to smooth it out. After you cover 3 pumpkins in alternating colors of leather, then the fun part is to begin decorating, and here the options are endless. This is a beautiful stem. My husband saw this at the Walmart and brought several of them home, knowing that I could use them in crafting. I used the entire stem to create a curved design beginning at the lower pumpkin using hot glue to attach the base of the stem, and I concealed that with one of the leaves. Then I just opened them out, and you can see how beautifully those colors look against that leather. I had this pretty little white sunflower design, and I attached that using hot glue to the top pumpkin. I also wrapped that upper stem with some twine. You can see also I did include some additional little white pumpkins from Dollar Tree and another pine cone I had found. And I attached this leaf cutout design that I got at Dollar Tree saying Hello Autumn, and the color was exactly the same tone as the leather of the darker colors. All in all, you can see it makes a beautiful splash of autumnal color against this white interior door. And now, on to our next project that uses a beautiful spray of lovely soft greens and blues. After all, who said that we just have to decorate pumpkins using orange? Here I'm using a piece of wallpaper from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just outlining the design of the pumpkin on the back of that wallpaper. After you cut it out, it should fit perfectly on the front of the pumpkin. You can see that there's a perforated line that allows you to just peel away that portion of the overlay, revealing that adhesive part. Next, you can just lay that, lining it up with those lower contours of the pumpkin. Then, once you have that in place, you can go ahead and remove the other portion of the paper overlay, and then just lay that right over the surface of the pumpkin. I found it laid beautifully. I didn't have to remove any bubbles or wrinkles. It was just a nice smooth surface. The next step we're going to do is to decorate, and I'm going to use some of the Just Chenille yarn from Dollar Tree. I chose this soft green color because it picks up some of the very soft green in the leaves around those florals. A drop of hot glue on the back allows that end to stay in place, and then all you have to do is wrap the yarn all the way around the stem, and I decided to actually do it about 3 different times so that I would get a lot of nice texture and fullness. I think it looks better adding those additional overlays. And when you get to the top, you'll need to go a little bit at a diagonal because it's harder to keep it attached to that upper curved top. But it works fine as long as you do go in different directions. Once you have that stem fully covered with that nice soft yarn, you can just go ahead and cut it off and add a drop of hot glue to the back, and that will hold it in place. And now I'm going to use another one of those beautiful leafy stems, and I'm going to take some pieces off of it. It's too large for this one single pumpkin, but the leaves are so soft and pretty that I wanted to incorporate those into the design. So I'm just removing some of the lighter colored ones, and I'm going to go ahead and use some hot glue and make a pretty arrangement at the top along the base of that stem. I'm also adding in some other little greenery that I had, as well as some green leaves, just for a little bit of depth of color. So using all of those elements around that stem will give us a beautiful embellishment. Adding on these embellishments using drops of hot glue works so well and allows you to design it just the way you wish. The drops of hot glue hold everything nicely in place. Bringing out all the different shades of green in the embellishment is a nice enhancement, and adding in some of that darker green gives it some nice depth of color. You can see it's taking shape now as I add in a few of the darker leaves and the little decorative pumpkin. Now you can see that I'm just using my sanding block to sand in a downward motion those outer edges. That will sharpen up those contours, removing any little bits of overhanging paper that's there. This is another charming pattern that I'm so happy with. Now, here's another idea for a stand. This is the Waverly Antique Wax, and you can use that to bring out the grain and make a popsicle stick look more finished. This is one of the larger popsicle sticks. You could certainly use a larger piece of wood than this, but I'm going to show you how to make a very simple stand because it's nice to have pumpkins that hang on the wall or on our doors, but it's also nice sometimes to be able to stand one up amidst your greenery or other decor. So I'm just going to show you a very simple way to make a little stand. Just simply paint or stain your large wooden popsicle stick and then add 2 of the tumbling tower blocks, which also are painted with the stain or paint, and you can use some wood glue and hot glue to adhere them. Then all you have to do is attach your pumpkin to the back of those, again using some hot glue and wood glue. Then you can just set that pumpkin right in place. That makes a backer. It's a little bit flimsy. You could use a more solid piece of wood, but it works, especially if you have something to lean against it. So here it is in my kitchen. I think it's so beautiful. I love the way the living plant provides such a lush backdrop for the handcrafted one. Isn't it fun to decorate these pumpkins in non-traditional ways? I hope you've gotten some inspiration from this video, and I look forward to hearing your comments in the comment section below. Also, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. I have lots more planned for later this week. In the meantime, take care and God bless.